All right, I'll offer to ask for a second. We have a unanimous second. With no objection, we have a unanimous second. Ms. Marcotte?
A proclamation declaring October 2019 as Dysautonomia Month, Awareness Month in the Parish of Plaquemines. Whereas dysautonomia refers to a spectrum of neurological disorders that involve the autonomic nervous system, and whereas symptoms may affect every system in the body, they are unpredictable and can be debilitating at times or permanently disabling to some. And whereas these disorders affect children, teens, and adults, and there are over 70 million people in the world are living with one or more forms of dysautonomia, and whereas there is currently no cure but ongoing research is offering hope for better understanding and new treatment options. And whereas associations such as Dysautonomia Louisiana are here to pave the way and to cast a light on the vast darkness that comes with being diagnosed with a chronic illness or invisible disease like dysautonomia. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Plaquemines Parish Council, represented by its duly authorized chairman, W. Bo Black, and by concurrence of the parish president, Kirk M. Lapine, representing the Plaquemines Parish government, that it hereby declares October 2019 as Dysautonomia Awareness Month in the Parish of Plaquemines.
All right, thank you. I'll tell you what, we'll put it up for a vote first, and then we'll open it up. Machine's open. It passes 9-0. I think we have a speaker. Come on up, please, and just introduce yourself. And on behalf of the council, I want to thank you for your attendance today. I know that Governor Edwards has declared October as the month, as well as this all around the world. So appreciate it, and open it up for your presentation.
I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Carmen Gonzalez. I'm from Tangipahoa Parish, born and raised in St. Bernard Parish, and always lived in South Louisiana. And I want to say thank you guys for adopting Dysautonomia Month in Plaquemines Parish. I guess you're wondering why I'm here as an individual to ask you guys for a proclamation. I had a young lady by the name of Tara Jean, which is a resident of your parish. Her 16-year-old son was diagnosed with dysautonomia. Dysautonomia is a neurological condition, is a section of your brain that controls the things we can't think to control, which would be heart rate, blood pressure, digestion, bone marrow production, temperature control, life flight mechanism, adrenaline, things like that. And when you have dysautonomia, the communication system and all those major bodily functions don't function correctly. So therefore, you may have a really high heart rate or a really low heart rate. You may have a really high blood pressure or a really low blood pressure. And that's all fine when you have one or the other. But when you have a high heart rate and a low blood pressure, your brain automatically wants to shut down and you pass out cold. So we get that dizzy, gonna pass out feeling every time we change positions, which is really hard to deal with. Also, your kidneys automatically produce a hormone which goes to your bone marrow system to tell your body to produce bone marrow. Well, the communication system's broken, so therefore your bone marrow system don't produce what your body needs in order to function, to have a full level of blood volume. Therefore, we have to do infusions. In my particular case, I've been with a career-driven person, probably about 17 years. I worked for Subway Corporate, I worked for Burger King Corporate, and I also worked inside of New Orleans building and renovating historical restoration after Katrina. One Sunday morning, woke up, take a shower, put my hands above my head to wash my hair, passed out cold, fell on my face, broke my jaw, knocked my teeth out my mouth. They told me I had a heart problem. Okay, let's fix it so I can get back with life. 28 trips to the hospital, 4 heart surgeries later, 1 life flight, still cannot figure out what the problem is. So I had been into several hospitals in and around the Louisiana area, went to Houston for second opinions. They finally said, look, we think you've got some kind of dysautonomia. It's like, okay, what's that? They sent me to Vanderbilt University. Vanderbilt University had me in there one day, gave me a diagnosis, came home. Within about 18 months, I'm back to functioning again. I can stand up, I can walk, I can talk, I don't fall down when I'm. My heart rate's not 230. Now, they did do a pacemaker defibrillator, and they disconnected the brain from the heart, so this way, my communication's not all screwed up. But we've got a 16-year-old in this parish who's struggling with that after a football injury. Sometimes dysautonomia is caused by concussions or trauma to the head. Sometimes we're born with it. Sometimes it circles with things like lupus, multiple sclerosis. It could be caused by Lyme disease, and it happens to all ages. Right now, 1 in every 100 teens are being diagnosed with some sort of dysautonomia. There's 15 different forms. When I first was diagnosed with dysautonomia 8-9 years ago, I was able to find 8 people in the state of Louisiana and thought, I can't do this by myself, and there's no possible way that the next person needs to go 5 years without a diagnosis. So I swore that if I got off that front porch, while I sat on that front porch, coming out of construction, I whittled the state of Louisiana. I have been to 26 different parishes. We bring in medical professionals to educate, continuing education for doctors across the state. We do education on awareness days in Ochsner's Hospital, St. Tammany Hospital. We do patient care support groups, so these people don't have to struggle by themselves. The reason I'm here today is to accept this proclamation on behalf of Nicholas and his mom, Tara, who are struggling in your parish, and ask that you invite me over to any health fairs or hospitals or anything that you have, clinics, that we could spread awareness about dysautonomia so people can get a diagnosis just a tad bit quicker and get back with life instead of living this debilitating condition that has touched so many people throughout Louisiana.
All right, thank you so much. Mr. Bartholomew?
You also have,
So much meaningful that we have someone concerned about people
thank you.
and trying to make a difference, and you are making a difference.
Yes.
But my main question, do any of our hospitals familiar with that now? Being able to address it quickly, rapidly?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We are in and out of Ochsner's Hospital on Jefferson Highway. We also have a doctor who picked it up about 6 years ago, so he specializes in it. He's on the North Shore. The young man who was just admitted into Children's Hospital, in fact, they're there today, being admitted for the 4th time in 6 weeks. He's in the hospital. Called me. I called that doctor. That doctor is now called in Children's Hospital to tell them how to handle his dysautonomia issues. So yes, we're in and out of hospitals. We just can't get it done fast enough.
So the adults will have to go to Ochsner on Jefferson Highway.
Ochsner's on Jefferson Highway or Dr. Patel in St. Tammany would be a place to get a diagnosis.
Do we have a news reporter in the audience today? Can you take that info and print it out in the paper, please?
That
I
would
think
be
we need to note
fabulous.
that.
Last year, Channel 8 picked up on it and did a segment. Nick Foles, one of the quarterbacks for, come on, somebody help me with football. You know Nick Foles. His wife has dysautonomia, and they were going to do a story with Nick Foles and his wife. Well, they picked it up in Louisiana. Kim Holden did a story. It's on our social media site. You can go see that Channel 8 did a nice segment for us, so we got some awareness. But I would appreciate it in a newspaper.
And maybe John can organize it to go to our meeting preview on cable.
Oh, that would be great.
Send it out, put the information. It's very important because that's something very special.
I can't imagine to
that
tell
we didn't
you.
even know what would be going on to people, and all of a sudden people are dying from this.
Well, and this is the thing.
sickness.
It caused things like, for instance, I'm going to give you a supraventricular tachycardia, which is a heart rate over 190.
That's me.
Mine's would be 230. My defibrillator would go off, and I'd get up to walk away. It would go off again. So all I could do was lie down and wait for someone to come and get me. But my blood pressure would plummet down into 60 over 30s. And then you're thinking, okay, the life flight me, I'm not going to make it. But how many times am I going to do this before we get a diagnosis? It was awful.
Again, thank you very, very much.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate y'all's.
Mr. Kinovich?
I'd like to thank you for all you're doing, and if I'd have knew about this last month, we could have got you in on the donations we gave back from the rodeo.
Well, don't forget us next year.
If you want to put a table in and hand out pamphlets at it next
Absolutely,
year.
absolutely. You guys know your parish. I went to St. Mary Parish yesterday, and while I was there, they said, oh, we have a health fair on October the 4th. Come on out. So we signed ourselves up, and we're going to be out there doing a health fair. So anything that you guys have going on in your parish, you know it better than me. I can only search so much trying to figure out what you got going on. But pick up the phone. I think my brochure was passed out with my contact information. Please feel free to give me a buzz and let us know what you have going on that we could participate and tell our story and share some more knowledge.
You could put it on your calendar the first weekend in August. I'll have a table set up for you.
Oh, thank you so very much. I appreciate that. I'll make sure to send you a message to remind me, to remind you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And one last question. Can I ask you, on your widow, what
Yes.
does the blue mean?
Turquoise is Dysautonomia color, and those are the parishes that I have been to do educational and awareness events throughout. My goal, my last bucket wish, is to get all 64 parishes turquoise, so I can
All
go
right.
back and sit and retire on my porch,
Hopefully
because
get
I
you,
want to.
hopefully get your painting ready. You can paint us.
I'm going to paint you. Look, you're the last ones down in the south. But every like July, August, I write all 64 parishes, and now I'm down to just these few. So I do appreciate y'all helping paint our state turquoise and create awareness. And we will be in and out of your parish, and we're not going to let Nick suffer alone.
Thanks. Well, I went to high school with Tara, so I know, yeah.
Yes.
So if you don't mind, bring that around, we'll take a photograph.
Sure, that would be great.
You want to do it up here? Let's try it up here. Let's stay up here. Do it up here, sir. A little different.
You want to all get close to the seal?
Yeah, I guess it is. Yes, we can do that.
It's hard to say, it's hard to live. No big deal.
Come stand in the front and if you're.
Anybody? Well, just right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Thanks.
Thank you,
All right, thanks a lot. Here you go. Here's your
you.
proclamation. Yep.
Yes, I'm actually taking this to the hospital to Nick.
All right,
Young boy.
yeah.
And good luck with everything. Thank you, I appreciate it.